Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the 14th episode of the Triboro Podcast. I had to glance over to my other monitor to make sure it was the 14th episode because I forgot midway
listen
through.
Track.
I am your host, Justin Alonso, and joined on Discord, because I'm an idiot,
Discord.
Nicholas O'Brien. How are you doing,
Hello.
Nicholas O'Brien?
Hi, Nicholas O'Brien. I'm doing okay.
O'Brien Nicholas.
O'Brien, comma, J. Nicholas. Oh, no. Is middle initial after? I think it's after.
It's after. It's the last thing.
O'Brien, comma, Nicholas, J.
Wait, what's your middle name? Joseph?
Okay. Yeah.
Is it actually?
Yeah.
Oh, I guess that. I'm him.
Yeah, look at you.
That's my confirmation name.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. All right, we're doing a podcast.
I'm not. Yeah. I'm not doing okay. Mets suck, but we'll talk about it.
Yeah, I'm only supposed to know about the Oakland A series. I'm not supposed to know about it being 8-0 in the bottom of the ninth. In a 3-1 count to DJ.
We're looking at our crystal ball.
Yeah, that's
the
my
Triboro
television.
crystal ball.
The crystal ball.
Yes.
That's my television.
Yes. And not a ball.
Yes, but we didn't talk about that because the Bronx already recorded because we're cool and I have.
We're cool.
You know what, guys? If you're listening to this before the Rays play the first game, put the house on DJ LeMahieu walking on a 3-1 count in the bottom of the ninth with a runner on first and third with 2 outs.
All right, let's get into the Bronx.
Let's get into it.
Now entering the Bronx.
Spotify listeners are going to be so confused. Hello and welcome back to the Bronx. For people not watching on YouTube, I just held my mouth open getting ready to introduce it.
I think you had a stroke.
I had a stroke in 5 seconds, went to the hospital and came back and got diagnosed with a grade 3 stroke strain.
Grade 3 stroke strain.
It was diagnosed by the injury report brought to you by the Triboro MD.
No way!
No way! So getting into the injury report brought to you by the Triboro MD. Aaron Judge officially activated off the 10-day IL. Corresponding move was Oswald Peraza was put on the 10-day IL. I don't know. He was cleared for to play 2 days before they put him on the IL.
Yep.
They just don't like him.
I was literally just gonna say
They
that.
just
I feel
don't like him.
they're taking this as an excuse to not play him.
Dude,
you hurt, you can't.
Who did he hurt? Who hurt you?
I know.
Whatever.
He slept with Cashman's wife.
I was thinking whose wife did he sleep with? Giancarlo Stanton is expected to start light baseball activities soon. He's probably gonna do the thing Bader did with swinging in a pool and all that.
Oh yeah.
Carlos
Hydrotherapy.
Rodon. Yeah, hydrotherapy. Carlos Rodon got a cortisone injection in his back, going to rest for another day and then throw tomorrow, see how he feels. Aaron Hicks left game 2 with hip tightness. He feels better. No, you do feel bad for the guy.
Yeah.
Because he's done 2 good things this year. Immediately after is
Gets
just
hurt.
not even gets hurt, just something bad happens.
Fair enough.
The big one, Luis Severino threw 3 1/3 innings today in a rehab start. In that, he had 2 hits, one of them a home run, the other one a broken bat single, 1 walk, 3 strikeouts. He averaged 95.9 miles an hour on his fastball, topped out at 98, and is expected to make another rehab start Tuesday. Looks very good.
Love that.
Yeah.
Much needed.
Much, especially after today, but we'll get into that. From reading the tea leaves, it appears that he's going to have 1 more rehab start Tuesday, then get called up. That is not confirmed at all, but that's just kind of seemed like the way that things are going.
Right.
That's all I got for the injury report, unless you have sources. I should probably talk about the John Boy thing with Rodon.
Oh, that?
Okay.
I mean,
I think that's funny.
Yeah. Okay.
So, John Boy on Talking Yanks said that a source inside the Yankees organization a trusted source within the Yankees organization told him not to expect Carlos Rodon to pitch this year. and someone like tweeted out like the quote, "Shut up, I see you grinning," and then Carlos Rodon's wife responded saying absolute bullshit, and then just put trusted source.
Yeah.
I
I,
thought that was really funny.
she might know a thing or two.
She may know him personally.
A little bit.
She may know who he is.
Probably.
I just
She's
thought that
heard
was
of him at the very least.
yeah. I just thought that was a funny note.
Yeah.
All right. So going on to the game recap, you got two Yankee lefties, Nestor Cortez versus J.P. Sears. Bottom of the fifth. You got to go all the way to bottom of the fifth, where I want you to guess who leads off with a hit.
Would that be the non-impact bat?
The impact bat, Harrison Bader. I want you to guess what the hit was.
A leadoff double?
No.
No. Oh, what was it?
A
Do
triple.
tell. Wow.
He's fast.
Wow.
He's fast.
He is fast. He is fast.
Harrison
He's a
Bader,
fast
leadoff
guy.
triple. Oswaldo Cabrera hit a 2-run home run. Great to see from him. Top of the sixth, Yankee killer Tony Kemp gets a single, 2-1. Jace Peterson walks with base loaded. That ties the game up. Bottom of the sixth, impact bat Gleyber Torres hits a home
That's
run.
an impact.
That's an impact bat. Oh, just wait. Then Rizzo single, and then DJ gives me some more fantasy points with a home run, makes it 5-2 Yankees. Then you go to the bottom of the seventh, Jose Trevino single. Aaron Hicks just hits a laser home run and pimps the bat. I don't know how to feel about that. I feel like a lot of people were like crying about it. I don't hate it in a way.
Whatever. Good for him.
It's one of those things of like just getting all that frustration out, but it's also a thing of
Right.
like know your place.
Yeah, I guess.
Because that was his first hit at Yankee Stadium since September 23rd of 2022.
First hit?
First hit.
Wow.
It was 227 days ago.
Yikes.
So that's like but I see it from both ways, so I don't really...
I get it, yeah.
I don't have an opinion on
Right.
it. Just, I don't know, something interesting. 227 days, though, that's...
Yeah, that's rough.
Nestor ended up going 5 innings pitched, 6 hits, 2 earned runs, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts. I know one run he gave up, then the other one was Marinaccio gave it up as an inherited run. Still his run.
All right.
We still don't know how to feel about that. J.P. Sears, 5 1/3 innings pitched, 6 hits, 5 earned runs, 0 walks, 4 strikeouts. Cashman smiling and dancing.
Ashman Masterclass.
Masterclass.
What a great trade.
Yeah, no. Both sides regretting it. At least Frankie Montas has not hurt the Yankees.
Very
He
true.
has not been a reason they lost. Can you say the
Yeah.
same thing about Waldschuk and Sears? I'm coping. Game 2 was Clark Schmidt versus Drew Rukunski.
You got it.
Him.
It's okay.
Drew.
Drew. My guy, Drew.
My boy Drew. So this was sorry, in my notes I have Arson Judge. Arson Judge's return to the lineup. It really is hard to make a typo on his name. Not. Top of the second, Jace Peterson single to give Oakland a 1-0 lead. Then the bottom of the third, Judge reached on a fielder's choice. 1 scores. Rizzo single, 2-1. Gleyber single, 3-1. Bader single, 4-1. Bauer sack fly, 5-1. Literally just station to station. Gotta love that.
Keep it going.
Top of the fourth, Jordan Diaz, solo home run 5-2. Yankees, you'll not hear his name again. Bottom of the fifth, Gleyber home run 7-2. Hey, that Gleyber guy's pretty good.
Yeah.
Top of the seventh, Jordan Diaz hit another home run, 7-3 Yankees. I thought I wasn't talking about him. Bottom of the seventh, Jake Bowers hits a home run, 9-3 Yankees. Top of the eighth, Jordan Diaz hit a third home run?
Third?
I thought
What?
he was what?
No
9-5
way.
Yankees. Bottom of the eighth, Anthony Volpe hits a leadoff triple. Judge ends up knocking him in with a sac fly, 10-5. I just love triples. Triples are like my favorite.
They're more
I
exciting.
like seeing triples more than a home run.
Yeah, because I feel like there's more excitement.
Because like a home run, you usually know off the bat, and like it's hype. Like obviously
Right.
Obviously, you'd rather the home run in most circumstances. But as a fan, seeing
But just seeing someone leg out a
sliding
triple,
and I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
both triples were stand-up triples with Bader and Volpe.
Right.
They-
right.
I think Boone.
Fast men.
Boone said Anthony Volpe was the greatest base runner he's ever seen.
Really?
That is, and keep in mind, Boone played like 10, 15 years.
Right. High praise.
And he also was the broadcaster of Little League World Series.
Oh my God, was he really?
Yeah, so you gotta keep that in mind in that praise.
No way.
No way. Schmidt ended up going 6 innings pitched, 5 hits, 2 earned runs, 2 walks, 7 strikeouts. That was his first start of 6 innings. Like, the first time he, like, finished 6 innings, so that's really good.
Right.
Hopefully he can build
Yeah.
off that. I don't care, it's the
Right.
A's. Fits my narrative. Going
Right.
into the series, the A's had the same OPS as the Yankees. So I
Right.
don't care.
And I mean, I think, forget it's the A's, it's just a confidence booster.
That's
Like, no
one of
matter
my
what team
overall
it is.
points. Exactly.
Yeah.
Drew went 5 innings pitched, 6 hits, 7 runs, 5 of them earned, 3 walks, 2 strikeouts. Just great overall team win. Greg Weissert was responsible for giving up 3 of the runs. He ended up getting sent down, and Davy Garcia got called up. I know Mets fans know Davy Garcia
Yeah,
from the
I
from the
remember
bubble
now.
season.
Yeah.
All right, game 3 is Joni Burrito versus Kyle Muller. My mom thinks his name's actually Burrito, by the way.
Burrito.
Yeah.
That's
Like, I
neat.
asked her when he was pitching, I said, Mom, what's his last name? She goes, Burrito?
Yes. Good
Because, like,
job.
I call it burrito
Correct.
so much. Correct.
You're
It's like
gaslighting.
it's like lasagna. Like Jonathan Lasagna.
Oh, yeah.
It's like one
Same
of those
thing.
things. Yeah. Top of the first, the Impact Bats had a great top of the first. Gleyber Torres, sac fly, 1-0 Yankees. Harrison Bader, 3-run home run, 4-0.
Fan interference doesn't count.
It counted. It counts. I got some numbers about him later. Just you wait. Top of the second, Carlos Perez hits a home run. Jace Peterson goes back-to-back to make it 4-2. Bottom of the fifth, I was getting my hair cut this inning. Oh, of course I was. Judge double, Rizzo single, DJ home run to make it 7-2. Gleyber double, Higgy walk, Cabrera walk. Anthony Volpe grand slam. Of course I missed
There
it.
you
At
go.
least I heard that one on the radio. At
Right.
least I heard that one on the radio.
That sucks.
That was a great at bat from him because I watched the post game and I don't know who the pitcher was, but he ended up walking back-to-back hitters, and he threw a first pitch fastball that Volpe just turned on, which I think that's very good baseball IQ.
Yeah.
Just to know that like he's like can't find the zone, base loaded, he has to get back in the zone.
Yeah, sit fastball.
Yeah. I don't like Volpe swinging this much on the first pitch, but in that situation, I'm fine with it. I'll get
Yeah.
into that later.
Okay.
Top of the seventh, J.J. Bleday. Dude,
AJ Blade.
there's a reason they're a double A
Marlins
team.
legend.
There's a reason they're a double A team. It's a solo shot to make it 11-3. Davy Garcia ends up getting the final 9 outs in his season debut. Goes 3 innings pitched, 2 hits, 1 earned run, 1 walk, 2 strikeouts. One of those hits was the home run. So not too much traffic on the base paths.
Right.
Joni Burrito went 4 1/3 innings pitched, 5 hits, 2 earned runs, 2 walks, 3 strikeouts, and a hit batter. Kyle Muller went 4 innings pitched, 5 hits, 6 earned runs, 3 walks, 6 strikeouts. Not good from Burrito. The numbers don't look horrible, but it was a lot worse. I think he had
Yeah.
second and third 3 times or something like that. So, like, there was a lot of scoring positions. It was just good defense and the A's being the A's. 30 losses. That's 8-30.
I know, they don't even have double-digit wins.
I
That's
was, like, going into the series,
embarrassing.
I was telling myself, if we let them get to double-digit wins before they get to 30 losses, we need to be relegated.
Yeah.
Like that.
It's just like... I don't even know. I can't... The A's are just a disaster.
It's
but
horrible. All right, that's it for
That's
the
why
game
they're punching
recaps.
bag.
Yeah. To get into... The Mets swept them, right? That's an honest question. I think
Yes.
they did.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, no,
I think
I had
one
to
of the
think
games
back.
was close.
The last game was like extremely back and forth. They almost blew it, but yeah, they did end up sweeping them.
Okay. Just some overall thoughts. Harrison Bader is insane. In his last 6 games, he's hitting .579, 3 home runs, 2 triples, 11 RBIs, and a 1.263 OPS. Oh wait, I'm sorry, slugging.
Huh?
A 1.263
Wow.
slugging.
Holy crap!
You like that little setup there?
Yeah,
Like,
that
you
was
like,
good.
you,
I was like,
like
okay, all right,
that's
nice
decent.
slugging.
Huh?
Oh
Um,
no, good for him. Hit the ground
yeah,
running.
that's
Much needed.
he's obviously not going to keep this up. Like that's
No.
just if he did, he would win the MVP. He would win
Yeah,
five
seriously.
MVPs. He would set every single record possible. He would get
Right.
drug tested every other inning. Like how they do like the spider tack checks, they would be drug
Yeah.
testing him like that.
Yeah,
Um,
seriously.
so and he's known for being like a hot cold player, but I do think he
Yeah.
is going to be better than his career overall,
Hmm.
just because like the thing I said, like the swing change, the home road splits,
Right.
all that. The playing for his hometown team.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
he's just a spark plug. I love Harrison Bader. Um, and I'm just gonna go over some other guys that I think are not getting like enough love as they should be getting. Anthony Rizzo in his last 8 games is hitting 406. On this season, he's hitting 304 with a 390 on base with a 471 slugging, good for 861 OPS and a 144 WRC plus. I said going into the season, I think he's going to be one of the hitters that is most benefited by the shift ban.
Yeah. I
And
mean,
it's like,
so far, definitely.
and it's not even a thing like he hits a lot of balls where the shift was. He does hit a couple, but it's just like the confidence thing, and like the
Right.
mental aspect of it. Like
Yeah.
I can pull the ball if I need to. I don't have to, but now I know there's another. I don't have to focus on hitting everything oppo, or
Right.
hitting everything in the air. So I think
Right.
that's also why his slugging has gone down a bit, because he was a like 225 hitter with an 825 OPS last year. So he was a
Right.
big like home run guy, but I
Yeah.
think that he is definitely gonna one of the most underrated moves they had was definitely re-signing him,
Oh, yeah.
especially with his fielding. And I am saying stuff to words to baseball to foot. He
That's
is
above
let me
average.
zoom
Baseball
in.
savant.
He is 96th, and now it's above average. So and it feels like it should be higher too.
Right, right.
So it's just all that combined. I think he's really not necessarily going under the radar, but people don't really appreciate how much he's doing for this team. Also being a leader. I love his two-strike approach. That's one of my favorite things about this lineup. I think that
Right.
he should almost do it more. Like, not necessarily only in 2 strikes, but if there's runners on, like, just go 2-strike approach. Because he chokes up a
Right.
lot. I feel like
Yeah.
I'm more confident in him getting on base with 2 strikes than I am with him not having 2 strikes. Like, and that's not a knock on him at all. It's just I love
No.
his 2-strike approach.
It's a really good approach. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm surprised more guys don't do it. Alright. Another guy that I think gets no love for absolutely no reason is Gleyber Torres. The
Oh, yeah.
Yankees are 71-20 when Gleyber hits a home run. Then that doesn't necessarily mean anything. I just
Right.
think that when he does well, the team wins. I think there
Yeah.
is a correlation to that.
Right.
I think that's pretty cool. He has a 126 WRC plus on the year, but the thing that really impressed me was that he has a 13.1 strikeout percentage, which is the lowest in his career. The second lowest was 20.2%.
Wow.
So he's really cut down on the strikeouts.
Big dip. Yeah.
So I think, and he's also had a lot more clutch hits. The power seems to have come back. I don't have the numbers in front of me, but I know he has about 5-6 home runs on the year. So he's definitely not back to 2019 because that was just juice balls. I'd say 2018 because I said he's a good 125, 130 WRC plus guy. He's at 126.
Right.
So I don't get how people can hate on him so much.
I know. Yeah, it's undeserved at this point, and I feel like year in year out he kind of disproves
2020
anything.
and 2021 were there were some things like COVID. He wasn't in shape in 2020, and like he was hurt a bit in 2021. So there's not a lot of like defense you could give to that, except they were like forcing him to be a shortstop when he wasn't. But you got to move past it and see that stuff happened. Look what he's done
Right.
without it. Look how he's matured.
Yeah, don't look at that as who he is.
Yeah.
Look, that's the outlier. Everything
wouldn't-
else is who he is. I feel.
When I think outlier, I only think one season though. I think it
I
was
guess.
just a thing of like everyone has a span of their career, not necessarily outlier, but just shit doesn't go right.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
But
Fair
yeah,
enough, fair enough.
outlier. When I think outlier, I think like 1 year,
One.
like a couple
Yeah.
months span. I
Yeah.
don't think like multiple years.
Right.
So
All right.
that could just
I'll
be
give you that. Yeah.
that's more
But
like
it gets the point across.
yeah, it definitely gets the point across. Another guy I wanted to highlight that some people are idiots for saying he should be sent down is Anthony Volpe. Dude, it's so when you watch the games, I was too lazy to add up all the numbers of how many balls he's hit over 100 miles an hour over the last 2 weeks. But over the last, I want to say, 10 games, he has at least 10 or 11 balls that are hit 100 miles an hour or more that have been outs.
Right.
So it's just a thing of he's getting so unlucky with that type of stuff. Like, he's in the 70th percentile for hard hit, 66th in average exit velocity. And that also includes the, like, week span where he was just horrible. And some other things are, even if he's not hitting, he is 87th in walk percentage, 82nd in sprint speed, which I think on the bases plays up, 76th in outs above average with having like a weak span where he was like shaky defensively. So he still provides value to this team without
Right.
hitting, and I think he's just been unlucky.
Yeah. And I mean, look, I'm looking at his baseball savant page right now. And, I talked about WOBA and ex-WOBA before on the podcast. His WOBA right now is 287.
Mhm.
His expected WOBA is 313.
Exactly.
So not fantastic, but there's obviously room for improvement.
And he's also a young guy, so there definitely is some. No matter how mature you are, at 22 years old, there's going to be some mental effect if you're not hitting well, especially
Definitely.
in the Bronx. So
Definitely.
I think it could be a lot worse because he is very mature for his age.
Yeah.
Mature for his age, he's 1 year old, 2 years older than me.
Yeah.
But he'll be fine. Just he's a
Yes.
rookie. You got to give him time. I think he's not. I don't want to say over the hump, but he's close.
He's the home stretch. He's like pushing the rock
Yeah.
right over. He's like
think he needs
almost
to,
at
like,
the tip.
Calm down on swinging first pitch because that is something I've noticed a lot that he's done, and it kind of like puts him behind the counts. And when he was doing
Right.
well earlier in the year, or like better earlier in the years, because he was working the counts, doing all that. So I think he needs to calm down on that a little bit, unless like he knows or has like a really good instinct on it, like today,
Right.
like with the grand slam. But it's like
Yeah.
almost every at bat he's doing it.
Right.
So it's like, I think that he needs to definitely calm down on, but
Yeah, no, definitely. And look, he's trending in the right direction, which I feel is when it comes to rookies, that's what you need to look at
exactly.
the most rather than kind of where their stats are
Average.
now.
Or
Yeah.
not average stats, yeah.
Right. You want to
So-
see them making an improvement. You want to see them taking that extra step, be fucking, looking at video, taking extra reps in the cage, stuff like that. Like they're making an attempt and the results are going to come.
Exactly. I think he will be fine.
Definitely.
One thing I don't have in my notes, but I just wanted to say because it fits all my narratives and I just remembered, I do not know who it was by. I want to say it was by The Athletic, but one executive said that out of all the prospects in the Yankee system, not including the guys on the major team, that Spencer Jones is far and away the best one.
Really?
I don't know. I just love Spencer Jones, and I just
Yeah.
remember that. I don't have an argument about that stuff. I just remember that, and I just want to throw it in because I think Spencer Jones is going to be so good. Spencer Jones.
Right.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, no, definitely.
My last kind of note on the major league team is that this lineup feels so much better with Bader and Judge in it. Like,
Right.
there's only 3 people that, like, I'm not that confident in. And even then, Oswaldo, he's starting to figure it out. Trevino's a catcher, so I don't really care. And then IKF's just IKF. That was the lineup today. There may be, like, a Bowers in there. And just, yeah, this lineup feels so much more fun to watch. And I know
Right.
A's, whatever. I don't give a shit. I'm saying just off the names in the lineup. Because you can agree with me on this. there's guys that they may not be good, but like you see their name and you're like, oh, I'm so much more confident, even though another guy may have stats, but you may not be as confident with him.
Right. Yeah. No, definitely. And look,
So
say what you want about the A's, but like, good teams beat bad teams. That's what they're supposed to do. You know what I mean? So as much as you want to like maybe discredit,
it's a slump buster.
yeah, definitely.
So
Well,
this
it
team
should
definitely
it should be, and it was.
Yeah. This team definitely needed that positive momentum.
Definitely.
And then kind of to talk about the minor leagues. Did you see what I texted you last night?
Yes.
I don't understand Yankee fans. So Cole Calhoun is hitting like 400 in AAA and like 15 at bats. They're like praying for him to be called up. When they signed him, everyone was like, "Oh, why are they signing another washed vet?" When they signed Franchi Cordero, they're like, "Oh, why did Cashman sign him?" And all this stuff. It's like these are those guys that you sign for depth, and everyone's like, "Oh, call him up, call him up." Then when they do bad, everyone's like, "Oh, they're so bad. Why'd you call him up?" Dude, they are depth.
Yeah.
That competition in like the minors is just not what they're used to. They're used to playing majors. They may not be good in the majors, but they have the experience and veteran experience to be able to do well in the minors. They are.
Yes.
I'm not saying they're not good players, but that is not who they are.
Yeah.
And I hate it so much how it's like
It's
people go back and forth
frustrating.
so much.
Because depth is not you can't have depth of all-star caliber players in and out. That's not how this works.
Not even close.
This isn't MLB The Show where you can grab every star player and you have some guy on your bench.
You have 499s on your bench.
Exactly. That's not how it works. Illegal out. But each team has depth, and that depth is going to be an average to maybe a little below average, maybe above average player who serves a purpose. They're not going to be an everyday player.
People are trying to find the next Matt Carpenter and then get mad when the people that are not Matt Carpenter do not beat Matt Carpenter. It's almost like IKF where people are shocked when they are not who they are or when they are who they are. It's like, no shit. They are who they are. Like,
yeah, they're not. Don't make them someone they're not.
Just don't even. So, some other notes on the minors. Austin Wells stole home plate.
Sure.
It was on a double steal, granted.
Okay.
But still, stealing home, that's still awesome.
Highlight reel.
From a catcher. He is
Right.
33 for 33 on stolen base attempts in his career.
Wow.
He had, I think, 16 yesterday. So he's got wheels for catcher.
Yeah, no,
He's
definitely.
got, like, some pretty solid speed for a catcher.
JT Realmuto?
That's what I was thinking. I was going to say that, like, almost like JT Realmuto-like.
Right.
But I don't know how his speed's been the last couple of years. So that's why I didn't. I know, like, when he got traded in the first year or two with Philly, like, that's what he was known for. But I don't remember. That's why I didn't. But
But still.
Yeah, he also has 4 straight games with a home run in Double-A. I think he has to be promoted soon. It would be ridiculous if you're looking up sprint speed for Realmuto.
Yeah.
I can see the lighting in your face change.
I know. He's 88th percentile in sprint speed. Right?
Huh, okay, maybe
for
not.
For a catcher.
Oh, for a catcher. Okay.
I mean, for a catcher, that's huge.
Are you saying 88th percentile in MLB?
Yeah, 88th in MLB.
Okay.
And I'm saying for a catcher, that's really good.
Yes. I'd expect Wells to be about 65, 70th. And he has, from what I've seen, most of the speed comes from very good instincts, almost Volpe-like. Not to the near the level of Volpe, because I think Volpe just has these otherworldly instincts, but has, like, to that extent. He's almost like the Paul Goldschmidt-like, where, like, he has some speed, but it's just, like, jumps and, like, all that.
Yeah.
Which is very valuable. So, I don't see how he doesn't get called up soon to AAA. Could be a potential late season call up. Maybe like if Higgy and Trevino just aren't doing it, like Higgy, like, see you later, may go for the offense. Especially if his defense improves.
No, definitely. Whether it's later this year or later down the line, Wells is a name.
No. Did I say it last podcast that I think he's either going to be the greatest thing since sliced bread or he's going to be a bust? There is no in-between for me with Austin Wells.
Right. Yeah.
he could either be like a top 3 catcher in baseball, like a couple years into his career, or like out of the league in 3 years. Like there's no in between for me.
Yeah,
So just please.
please.
And then a guy I have mentioned so many times, Andres Chaparro,
Chaparro.
my king.
My king.
He went on Tuesday. He went 5 for 5 with a grand slam and a double. On the season, he is up to 282 batting average, 355 on base, 589 slugging for a 944 OPS with starting 0 for 29. And the reason I was too lazy to look into Volpe's numbers is because I was doing some number crunching for Chaparro.
Oh,
If you
boy.
take out that 0 for 29 stretch to start the season, he is hitting 369 with a 455 on base, 768 slugging for a 1223 OPS.
That is very good, ladies and
With
gentlemen.
10 home runs, a triple, and I want to say 5 doubles.
He's in AAA, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And he was mashing in spring training too.
Right.
It's just
When
like
call
Willie Calhoun was like your DH. Okay, like you got it. He hasn't played in the last 4 games. So
Right.
like, why are you gonna have him on the team for that? You could DFA a lot of guys to make room for him, even if they don't want to DFA guys because they have like this obsession with keeping roster depth. You could put Hicks on the IL if like you just want to make sure he's okay. You can put either Loizaga or Rodon on the 60-day IL. Boom, there's your 40-man spot. There's your man on the 26-man
Right.
roster.
Right.
So it's like,
Yeah. I mean, he's primarily DH, right?
he could also play third and first, but he definitely wouldn't play third or first over DJ or Rizzo.
Right. But I mean, hypothetically, mainstay DH until maybe Stan comes back.
Yeah.
You can alleviate Rizzo a little bit here and there. You know, you
Mm.
gotta make sure his back's all right. If it's like a day off or they want to DH Rizzo, whatever it be. So I think he has a little bit more flexibility than people might like see at first glance. But I think it's just the issue of finding that 26.
I don't
That
think
26-man roster spot.
there
for
is
him.
an issue though. Like you have so many guys that like either IL/DFA candidates in
Right.
IKF, Bowers, Hicks for IL, Calhoun. I know like I've seen some things about Oswaldo getting sent down, but I don't think they would because he's been like hitting better and like I've seen a lot of stuff they've been like focusing on like helping him get the ball in the air more because he has like a 50% ground ball rate or something. So
Right.
I don't know.
I mean, the other thing is, all right, for at least outfield depth, you have Judge, you have Bader, you have Hicks, you have Oswaldo, and you have Calhoun right now. But Calhoun's really just a DH at this point, right? So
I think
call
he's
it-
played one game in the outfield in right. And
Okay.
you're obviously not going to play. There's so many people they play in right over him.
Right. I think the easiest solution is getting rid of Calhoun.
It is.
Yeah. I
Because they
think-
seem to really like Bader. Either
Right, of
Or
course.
not Bader, Bowers. Not
Bowers. Yeah. Okay. I totally
Either-
forgot about him.
Either
Yeah.
Bowers or Calhoun. I think it would come down to that unless they want to stash Hicks on the IL because they love like keeping assets that aren't assets.
Right. Right. And I mean, man, I don't know. Like, it's kind of like the Mark Vienta situation with the Mets. He's kind of a man without a position, but like, how long can you keep him down
But
there?
you
if
have.
he's
I
mashing
just
like
did.
This?
I just did a lineup. You have Volpe at shortstop, Judge in right, Rizzo in first, DJ at third, Glaber second, Bader center field, Oswaldo left, Trevino catcher, Chaparro DH. Everyone that you want to play is playing,
Yeah.
and they're not. It's not like they're playing out of position either.
Right.
Like you don't want to play Oswaldo, okay, you could play one of the other outfielders, and you could still get Chaparro in the lineup.
Yeah.
So it's like all your everyday guys are still playing, and even if you don't include Oswaldo as an everyday guy, he can still get on the field.
Right. Right. You're not really pushing anyone out.
You're not.
That shouldn't be pushed out.
Exactly. So that's just like, that's not like some guys, like with Vientos, you'd have to do a lot of roster gymnastics
Yeah.
and a lot of like lineup gymnastics. You wouldn't have to do any.
Fair. Yeah. So yeah, when you put it like that, it's kind of a little more
And
frustrating.
I whipped that up in literally the 3 minutes that we've been talking about Chaparro. Like, that's why I
Right.
was, like, zoning in on my computer, because I was just doing the logic.
Yeah.
So it's
Right.
like, I whipped that up in 3 minutes, and they have how many analytics? They have how much time to, like, actually whip this up?
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's like, worst case scenario, he's not good. Send him down. Best case scenario, he's on the team. He mashes. You want to keep him when Stanton comes back? Great. You don't want to? Use him as trade bait, because he doesn't have that much value, because he's 25, hasn't played in the major leagues, doesn't have that much of a position. You get him to hit in the major leagues when Stanton comes back. You could trade him off for a package for whoever, because they make a deal every year at the trade deadline. Put him in a package. And that way you're
Right.
still getting value for him.
Right.
Instead of just
Yeah.
having a 26-year-old guy next year in the minors that's not going to play.
Right. Definitely. And you know, honestly, it might be one of those things where like, all right, he's hitting really good in the minors.
Mhm.
You don't want to risk bringing him up, him not doing well, and then he has less value.
Give me.
You know what I mean?
I don't think so though, because last year he had about like a 950 OPS over the year in AA and AAA. He had like a .5 value on baseball trade values.
Right.
So it's like I don't.
And baseball trade value isn't the end all be all.
It's not, but
Let me
it's a
preface it.
rough idea.
Yes, that a very, very rough idea.
I'm trying to find what's this. I'm trying to find it right now. Trade simulators. Just out of curiosity's sake, to see how much it's really gone up.
Right, if at all.
Yeah, if at all. Okay, why is this being dumb? Oh wait, here. Chapar. Gotta love this.
Wait, any day now.
It's also like so sensitive to the touch, so it's so hard to like. Okay, yeah, Chaparro is a 1.2 trade value,
And he was at 0.5, you said?
like 0.7 last year.
Right. All right. So it's gone up
So but that's
a
nothing.
little bit.
That's nothing.
Yeah.
Like you're not
Yeah.
gonna. That guy's not gonna be a part of a big trade. You get him to mash in the majors, which I think he definitely can. That's gonna skyrocket. And worst case
Right.
scenario, he wasn't gonna be a big trade piece anyways. So just send him down.
Yeah.
So it's like
Yeah. Yeah, you're not really risking much giving
it's
him a
low
shot.
risk, high reward, and that's the type of moves Cashman likes to make. But apparently, he only likes to make them from dumpster diving guys that are 30 years old and should be in a retirement home.
Right.
Just
Yeah. Frustrating. Definitely. Definitely.
because like this whole year is let the kids play. That's what they've been going into with saying it. We're not signing anyone on offense because we believe in the kids that we have in the minor league system. Where is he? At least give him the shot. The last couple of
Yeah.
years, you've been saying like, no, we're not really going to sign that many big hitters because we believe in our minor league depth. Okay, now show us that minor league depth. What?
Right.
You can't have it both ways.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you now, Chaparro would sell tickets, I believe.
Okay.
I believe in the sense that if they show, with the offense going on the uptick, they call it Chaparro, they're showing they're doing it, that can get more hype into it. Maybe not a
Yeah.
lot, but it could definitely get some. And for how penny pinching they are, they will take the couple extra dollars by doing literally nothing.
Right. Yeah. And I mean, I don't think he's a huge name, but to Yankees fans, you know the name. So he's definitely going to catch some eyes.
Especially recently with how, like, the numbers I read, they don't see him as the 282 hitter. They see him as the 369 hitter. All they've
Right.
heard about is the hot streak. They didn't hear about the 0 for 29. So, and I know today, like, this doesn't include today, he had a double and a walk. And I think he
Right.
could have done more as well today,
Right.
but I saw those on Twitter. So it's like, it's
Let him play.
at
Bring
least
him up.
give him the there is no harm in giving him the opportunity.
Yeah.
IKF
I mean-
has like a 13 WRC plus. You're telling me that you'd rather a 13 WRC plus rather than a guy that can hit absolute bombs.
Right. Right. But then it goes back to the depth argument. Because you say you get rid of IKF for Chaparro, then you don't have a backup. Well, I mean, you have
IKF
Cabrera.
is a dollar store older Oswaldo Cabrera. Minus the fun.
Minus the fun and the smile and the necklace.
And
And.
everything.
All right, never mind.
You know what I mean? And because that's my thing too, about how like you said IKF would be a great super utility guy. Okay, yeah. For a team that needs that. We don't. They have
Right.
DJ, can play every position in the infield except short. You have Volpe, Peraza, and obviously when he's healthy, Volpe and Cabrera both can play short. You have Volpe, Glaber, DJ Peraza, or not Peraza, what's his name? Cabrera, all can play second. DJ, maybe Cabrera, Rizzo, and Bowers all can play first base. You have how many outfielders? You're good on catcher,
Right.
so they don't need more versatility. And that's not even including IKF, the positions he can play.
Right.
So it's like you don't need that versatility.
Fair enough. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, once you lay it out like that,
Like another team may, but the Yankees don't.
right?
They just don't.
You can sacrifice a little bit of that for a slugger, essentially.
The guy that could legitimately be, maybe not right away, but like until Stan comes back, your 4-hole hitter, because they don't really have a 4-hole hitter.
Right.
I don't mind DJ in the 4-hole, but it's like, it's kind of like Pete Alonso minus the power.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Have Pete Alonso was like a huge RBI guy because he would just hit with runners in scoring position. But
Right.
that's how I see it almost. But like I want
Yeah.
that 4-hitter to have that power, and I just don't see how you can move Judge or Rizzo.
Right. Definitely.
So it's like,
Fair enough. Yeah. Yeah. Let him play.
let him play. You
Let
don't
him
need.
play.
You can literally cut. Like I said, there was 4 or 5 moves that you can make to get him onto the team easily.
Right.
Just
Right.
give him the shot. We're talking about Peraza, whose wife he slept with. Whose wife did Chaparro sleep with?
And
Like, come on, bro.
yeah. Especially for an older guy, I feel like
Yeah. It's now or never for him.
yeah.
Like, I
Yeah,
was talking about Wells, who's 23 right now, it almost being now or never for him, like this year or next year. No, Chaparro, it literally is this year, now or never.
Yeah. Yeah.
So just. That's really all I got, unless you got some final comments.
No,
Questions,
Um,
comments, concerns.
can't say I do, but good series win.
Mhm.
You got in, did your business, did what you're supposed to do, and
I completely forgot to look ahead, by the way.
I see.
And okay, perfect. The Yankees in Game 1 have Domingo Germán versus TBD. Game 2 is Garrett Cole versus TBD. Game 3 is Nestor Cortez versus TBD. Game 4 is Clark Schmidt versus TBD
Against what team?
against Tampa Bay Rays at Yankee Stadium. TBD,
Okay.
TBD, TBD, TBD.
TBD.
So there really isn't much to go over.
Yeah, I mean, look, you just played the Rays.
Yeah.
I mean, we talked about it. There's
That
a
could
lot
have
of
easily
good to
been a
come for that
sweep,
series.
either way.
Exactly.
And now
And
you're getting Judge back. And
you
you're
have
also getting
Judge.
Chaparro.
Maybe, possibly, please. And you got probably, I would say, a little bit of confidence boost from this A's sweep,
Rizzo
Some
and
little
DJ hitting hotter. Volpe's
Mhm.
he's bound to regress to the positive.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
You know what I mean by
Regress upwards.
that. Regress in a
Regress
positive
gooder.
manner. Yes.
Yeah.
Regress goodly.
Regress goodly. But yeah, Bader's hot. You got Judge back. So
And he's good at baseball.
Bader is good at baseball. Yes, he is. He's not going to be this good at baseball, but he's very good at
You're right, he's gonna be better. Alright, that's all I got. We're going into Queens, right?
Are we?
Are we?
Are
I think
we?
we're going into Queens.
Are we?
I think we are, right? I'm gonna say let's go into Queens and then stop the recording. So we're going into Queens,
Okay.
right?
We're going to Queens, whether you like it
we're
or
going
not.
into See you guys.
Now entering Queens.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Queens, where the Mets have lost another series to a below 500 team and are now a below 500 team. It
You,
was not a great series. There are some things to take away, definitely, but something needs to change. Something, gotta catch a break somewhere. To kind of get the vibes right. But before that, as always, your injury report brought to you by Triboro MD. So first and foremost, Max Scherzer, who was supposed to start Game 1, was scratched due to neck spasms. So he said, I believe the morning before his start and the morning of, his neck kind of locked up, but he couldn't really pitch well, so scratch start. And before that, that morning of Game 1, a New York Post article came out talking about how Scherzer is still battling through an injury, kind of.
mm,
He's kind of, I guess, what's the word? Managing.
managing,
Uh,
yeah.
yeah, like his scapular injury. So I'm not exactly
I don't agree with that,
sure.
but
Neither do I. He was saying like, I'm fighting like hell not to get on the IL. I'm trying to help the
it's,
team. Look, and I will be honest here. His 5 whatever ERA is not helping the team.
it's not even
Some
that. It's just like you're how old? Like you could end your career by doing this. Like not
Right,
I don't even think that's over exaggerating to say like he could legitimately end his career by not taking at max a month off.
right. And last year, he was before he got put on the IL for his oblique injury, he was pitching through it.
Mm.
And then it caught up to him, and he couldn't just like pitch through it anymore.
And that was what,
And
like
he missed
2-3 months?
yeah, like a month and a half, something like that, probably more. I'm forgetting honestly, but still, he missed a lot more time than he would have if he just went on the IL right away. And like
Mm.
I said, he's not helping the team much with his 5 whatever ERA. You could pull some guy from AAA, they can
Yeah.
do the same thing. So at this point, just IL him. I
Yeah.
don't understand why. I understand the type of pitcher he is, the person he is, the competitor he
Mm.
is, but just get healthy. It's May.
Playing
It's a
through an
long season.
injury is only admirable to a point.
Yes,
At one
I
point,
agree.
it's just stupid. Like it depends on
Exactly.
the injury, but like some you could like play through because some you can't make it worse. It just like hurts. But
Right.
like that's one of those things. Like you just gotta like
Yeah. You play through an injury in September and in the playoffs.
yeah. You say you want to help the
Not
team,
in
but
May.
you're not helping the team doing this.
Exactly. But he's not on the IL. He's still not exactly sure when he's going to pitch again. But we'll talk about that a little later when we get into looking ahead. But next up, Carlos Carrasco had his first rehab start. He went 3 innings, 3 hits, 1 earned run, 1 walk, and 1 strikeout. I believe it was in Double A. But, just good to get Cookie going again. I think even though he hasn't been fantastic to start the year, maybe the bone spur that he had was something that was affecting his pitching. So just getting him back would be huge. I mean, the pitching depth is also already looking thin, so just getting arms ready is just going to help. But after that, Brooks Raley, he's also on a rehab assignment. He pitched a scoreless inning. Again, just need another arm in the pen, especially a lefty. We can really use him. And then lastly, this one is a little new. Tomas Nido is going on the 10-day IL with dry eye syndrome. So he's not hitting well. Yeah, I know. Just get some eye drops. I don't know, but
No, just pour water.
yes, just pour
Just pour
water straight
salt
into your
water.
eye.
Pour salt
Oh my
water into
God.
your eyes.
Oh my God. But yeah, I mean, look, he's not hitting.
Great news for one player though.
Yeah, yeah, seriously.
Yeah, this unknown individual broke into Tomas Nito's what's it called,
Apartment.
hotel room and had an eyedropper with salt water.
Yes, and that man is Francisco Alvarez.
Huh?
No, but Alvarez has been seeing a lot of playing time as of late. That might be because of this injury to Nito. but he probably should be starting over him regardless. But the corresponding move was Eliezer Hernandez was transferred to the 60-day to open up a 40-man spot for Michael Perez, who they brought up from AAA. So Michael Perez, just backup catcher, but Alvarez should be seeing, I would say, 90% of the catching duties. Michael Perez is just going to be there to give him a day off if he needs it. I mean, even for Game 3, Alvarez played Game 2, which was at night. Game 3 was at 12:30. He played both games. So I think that's a little telling. But speaking of the games, let's get into that. So, Game 1, as I mentioned, was supposed to be Max Scherzer's start. But because he was scratched, David Peterson was called up. And he continues to struggle. David Peterson went 3 1/3. He led up 7 hits, 4 earned runs, 2 walks, and 4 strikeouts. Not really sure what else there is to say about David Peterson.
The dogs make an appearance on the podcast.
The dogs.
You don't hear them?
Band-Aid? I did.
Band-Aid
I
and
heard
Barney
them back.
barking.
Band-Aid and Barney are also upset that David Peterson is
Yeah.
struggling. That's why they're howling.
He was their
But
dog. Now he's no
he
longer.
was their
Now he's a
dog.
stray.
No, he's just a stray. He kicked him out. But again, there's not much else to say about Peterson. His struggles are, I believe, a big reason on why this team is struggling as a whole. I think, bear with me. I think he coming into the season was supposed to be their sixth starter. But then Jose Quintana got hurt. He's brought up.
Are you saying
he's
it's
gonna be
his fault or there's a correlation?
No, correlation. I'm not saying it's all on Peterson.
Okay. Yeah, no, I'll agree
It's-
there's a correlation, but I thought you were saying it's his
Yes.
fault. I was like,
The
he's supposed to be
entire
like the
reason
sixth.
this season.
It's supposed to be like the
is-
6-7 starter. You can't blame it all on
Yes,
him.
it's because of him.
I will
No.
agree there is definitely a correlation.
Yeah, look, there's a lot of things to talk about when it comes to the Mets' struggles, but David Peterson is one of them, I think, because he's supposed to be their sixth starter, got brought up to be their fifth starter after Quintana, and he has just struggled mightily.
I thought you were
He can
going to say
barely
sucked.
get to.
I thought you were going
No,
to be mean.
No, I can't. That's my guy. I've been talking about so much.
Stinks. Get him out of the
Stinks.
Bronx. Doesn't pass the eye test.
He doesn't. I mean, look.
Or the analytical
he,
test.
He doesn't. He continues to miss his spots. His fastball is still missing everywhere. His slider is hanging. His curveball, his changeup is hanging. Everything is hanging and or missing spots.
They are not clothes.
No. So.
That's a new thing. Clothesline curveball.
But I think that David Peterson has just really, really not looked good this season. And I'm hoping Max doesn't. I know I said to IL him, but hopefully it is something he can pitch through and it can be okay. Because David Peterson is the next guy up, and boy, it's not looking good.
I think you guys just take the lump.
Yeah.
I think you just gotta, you can't. Because Scherzer's this year, next year, right?
He has a player opt out after this season.
He's probably
but
not going
at
to.
this
I
rate,
doubt it. That's what I'm saying. You
exactly.
can't. If you're him, you can't mess that up for those 2
Right.
years. He's got to realize, this just. A month is nothing compared to a year and 2/3 of us. Or 4. And.
a lot of time.
Yeah. I was going to say,
Yeah.
10/12 of a season.
All right, you don't gotta guess specific.
9/12.
But besides that, this was actually a close game, believe it or not. So let's get into the scoring summary, where Francisco Alvarez had the first 2 runs of the day with 2 solo shots. His first multi-home run game of his career. Then Alonso added a solo shot of his own, hopefully a little slump buster there. A run scores on a double play by Mark Canha. A Lindor hit a 2-run home run to make it 7-6. But that's all the Mets could gather as they lost 7-6 to the Reds. Overall, bad pitching. Really good offense. And that double play by Canha was bases loaded, no outs. So, to get in a little bit of that, because that pissed me off. So, Vogelback is hitting it above Canna. Vogelback works a walk. So, correct me if I'm wrong, but in my mind, if the guy in front of you gets walked, do you take the first pitch? Yes or no?
Depends on the situation.
Bases loaded, no outs. Do you take the first pitch?
It's tough because the answer is usually yes, you take the first pitch, but then you see what Volpe did.
Right.
Where it's like you knew it was going to be a get me over fastball, and he ended up he drilled the grand slam. So
Right.
it's
Or
like,
weren't the Yankees already up by then?
yeah.
Yeah. Mets are still trailing. You know what I mean? So in my mind, take the first pitch.
Who was hitting again?
Mark Canna.
Yeah. Oh,
Who
yeah.
has
If you're Canna,
struggled.
Yeah. You take.
The on base guy, I would think take first pitch.
No, yeah, in that situation. But if it's like an Alonso or Lindor, I'm fine
Right.
with them swinging. But like Canna,
Yeah,
I would
so-
definitely agree.
Yeah. So he swings first pitch, grabs into a double play. That inning, maybe. Look, the pitching was horrible, but the Mets had a shot that inning to steal this game. And Canna just absolutely soured that opportunity. And later that game, he got pinch hit for Luis Guillorme. Luis
Jeez.
Guillorme, who is a defensive replacement. I'm sorry, but as much as I'm getting on Canna's case right now, I do not want to see Luis Guillorme over Mark Canna.
Yeah.
And even then, why are you pinch hitting Guillorme?
You can't be. That's such a bad sign for him. And I think, like,
Exactly.
how many more years does he have on his deal?
I believe he's up at. I think there's a club option after this year, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, I don't think that option's getting picked up.
At this rate, I don't, unless it's for like a fourth outfielder role, for like a Tommy Pham type role. I don't
Even
see
then,
it.
you know how I feel about I think I know who the future outfielder is because it may seem you have a logjam in the infield.
Yes. But Mets lost this game 7-6. It was really close, but the pitching ultimately just didn't give them a chance. I mean, look, I feel like we talk about it every episode now. Say what you want about the offense, but your offense shouldn't have to score 6-7 runs to win you a game. You know, your starters cannot last less than 4 innings. You know what I mean? So say what you want about the offense, but the pitching continues to be a problem. In game 2, the pitching was not a problem because Justin Verlander did exactly what you paid him to do. Justin Verlander, in his second start of the season, goes 7 innings, 2 hits, 1 earned run, 2 walks, and 7 strikeouts. This is exactly what the doctor ordered.
Not a good
This is what
offense,
you
but it
need
also
Max
is
to do.
important to note that it's the second most hitter-friendly ballpark in baseball.
Yes.
It's I can't remember Fenway's too.
No, I think it's Coors, then Great American.
Okay, then Fenway's third.
But
Go on.
look, Verlander did exactly what you needed him to do. He was that stopper that you needed. He went 7 innings. Ottavino in the 8th, David Robertson in the 9th.
That was the CC special where it's like an ace is the guy to like get you over that hump. To like
Yes.
like you said, the stopper. To like, all right, we're struggling. You know
Right.
you're winning this game. I will
Yeah,
do
we need
everything
a-
in my power to win this game.
Bingo. Exactly what they needed. And the Mets got on the board with Alonso solo home run, back-to-back games of a home run, and Nimmo RBI single. That made it 2-1 Mets, and that's the score that would end the game. Mets win 2-1. There were some missed opportunities with the offense, I will say. Again, this offense is not perfect. But finally, a quality start from a Mets starting pitcher. I'm not sure if you've seen this.
Oh
But-
God.
Guess how many other teams
I was gonna ask if I
besides
could
the
guess.
Mets? Besides the Mets, how many other teams have 5 or less quality starts? And if listeners don't know, quality start is 6 innings, 3 or less earned runs.
6 or more innings, 3 or less runs.
Yes.
I know one other team. We'll say 2.
0.
The Oakland Athletics, who are one of the worst teams of all time, had more quality starts than the Mets?
Yes. I'll let that once just sit in for a second.
Jeez, I would have thought the Oakland was like a lock.
So would I. So would I. But no. I believe the Athletics have 6. The Mets have 5.
Jeez.
So it's not a large margin, but still. It really puts in perspective how bad this pitching has been.
Yeah, that's
But
not.
look,
Go on.
it's not a winning recipe. But look, Verlander did what you needed him to do. Unfortunately,
Hopefully that number will
Game 3.
get up with Verlander.
Yeah, hopefully. He's like the one bright spot in this rotation. Besides Kodai Senga. So, I will say, this line does not look great, but I will explain myself. So, in Game 3, Kodai Senga gets a start. He goes 5 innings, 8 hits, 5 earned runs, 1 walk, 7 Ks. He pitched so much better than this line suggests.
Mm-hmm.
His first inning was extremely unlucky. He gave off a leadoff double to Jonathan India. Next batter, pop-up. Batter after that, strikeout. That's where it started getting a little away from him. A jam shot that dunks into center field. It was like, I think it was like a 68 off the bat. Dunks into center field, run scores. And then the next batter after that, they're shifting over to the left because it's a right-handed hitter. Like a check swing that's like, I don't even know. It's kind of like you tap it with the ball, and it goes through the hole on the right side.
Mm-hmm.
So now you have first and third. He then gives up a double, and he let up 4 runs in the first inning. But then after that, he didn't let up a run until the 5th.
Mm-hmm.
So he just kind of got babbipped.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to say. A lot of dinks and doinks kind of hits that he didn't really get barreled up. That's really what I'm getting at. So he pitched a lot better, but unfortunately, another early game deficit that the Mets had to work through. Unfortunately, the Mets got shut out, and they scored nothing. They are now shut out for the 7th time, which leads Major League Baseball.
And your scoring recap.
Exactly. You want to know how many times he got shut out last year?
What was it, 5, 6?
8.
8? Okay.
But still, puts in perspective. Entire last year, they got shut out 8 times. We're, what, almost 40 games in? Already shut out 7 times.
I think.
So, like I said, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say I think part of that is that you have guys who necessarily aren't themselves. Like Alonso
so.
slumping, Lindor's like not Lindor. He's having like the weirdest season of all time. Marte obviously, and there's a lot more pressure on the kids who may not be like they'll show flashes, which are what kids are gonna do.
Yeah.
So it's like, I think
Yeah,
that's like
it's
a
a lot
good
of
part
pressure.
of it. That like a lot of the I just named like what 4 or 5 veterans that like aren't
Right.
doing what they normally do.
They're not being the back of their baseball card.
They're not. Yeah, they're not.
Like, Jeff McNeil still hasn't really gotten going.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, Marte's been struggling. Marcana has been struggling. Daniel
Alonso
Vogelbach,
Lindor.
it's okay. He's been getting on base.
It's so
He's been
weird to
doing
say
his thing.
Alonso because I always think like my like when I say the name like Alonso, I just think like my family
you.
and like all that. And yeah,
And
no,
then,
it's,
The third cousin 4 times removed, Pete Alonso. But yeah, no one has really got it going. You know what I mean? They've been extremely streaky. And it showed today, Game 3. They went 0 for 6 with runners in scoring position. They left 9 men on base. So it's not like they never really got it going. They had their chances, but they can never get that big hit. And look, you're already down 4 runs, like, before the second time you come to bat. It's deflating.
yeah.
It is. Baseball is an extremely mental game. So it's, it's tough when your starting pitchers can't really throw up zeros. And I don't have the number in front of me, but the Mets have been outscored, like, I want to say, like, this is probably not correct, but it's probably around the same area. It's like they've been outscored 40-10 in the first inning.
Jeez.
Right. So they're not getting early
So you're
leads.
averaging more than 1 run a game in the first.
Right.
Yikes.
Yeah, exactly. So you're not getting an early lead. you're down early, and you're fighting back like every single game.
Yeah.
And that brings me to my next point. For just overall thoughts of this series, the pitching is still the problem.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I know game 3, the offense did not show up. I'm not saying the offense is perfect. I'm not saying the offense is even good. But
It's
pitching is the main
manageable.
problem. It is.
Serviceable?
Like,
Yeah.
serviceable, I'd say. Maybe a little less. But game 1, they scored 6 runs. That should win you a baseball game.
Yeah.
David Peterson just didn't show up. The pitching just didn't show up.
Didn't show up implies that he showed up other times.
Yeah, maybe once. Maybe. But I might be giving him a little too much credit there.
Yeah.
But the pitching is still the main problem. I mean, Scherzer has been brutal. Verlander has been great his first 2 starts. But then you got Kodai Senga, who's been a little inconsistent. But I'm willing to give him a pass because out of all the pitching's problems, I'm willing to give Kodai Senga the pass because he's acclimating to MLB.
Mm-hmm. I think that I may have said this on when we were doing like the over-unders, that I think that this year is just going to be such a wash for him.
Yeah.
Like, I think that this year you can't really rely on him.
Yeah.
Like, I think
That's
next
fair.
year, like, he will be a lot more of what he was in Japan next year. Because when did he sign? He signed with, like,
December.
that's what I mean. He only had a couple months. You put him through a full season where he gets more used to how much he's going to pitch with the baseball, what a new country is like, what the MLB schedule is like, all that. I think that will definitely do a lot of wonders, a lot of good, and like helping him and having like a full off season, because technically he didn't have like the month and a half, whatever it was. So I think that definitely will do him good.
Definitely. So that's why I'm willing to give him a pass.
Yeah.
But besides that,
He's almost like
David
a kid.
Peterson-
He literally is a rookie. He's literally a rookie.
yeah.
He is literally a rookie.
He is. As much as I don't agree with how that works, he is a rookie.
Yeah.
But regardless, David Peterson has been atrocious. Tyler McGill is, he's fine.
He's
5
Tyler
innings,
McGill.
3 runs. He's your like 7th starter essentially.
Should
and Joey
be.
Lucchesi, who's technically still a part of this rotation, has been okay. He's coming back from Tommy John. He's like your 8th, 9th starter. So I think it helps to put a little perspective into it. I'm not using it as an excuse because you didn't really sign. I mean, again, there's not much else to sign, but you evaluated your team and like, all right, pitching depth is your strength. So now it's a matter of, all right, did we misevaluate what our pitching depth is? Is this who David Peterson is? Or is he like the 3.8, the 3.3 ERA type guy? But look, Verlander has started strong. You need to get Max going.
You do.
Whether that's him pitching through whatever this is or him going on the IL for a couple weeks, he needs to get going.
I agree.
Because that's what you built this team on, whether you like it or not. Whether you agree with signing the 2 40-year-old pitchers, that's what this team is built on. This team is not an offensive powerhouse. It never was. That they lack power, literally. They're very station to station, very small ball, and that's fine.
It's a Buck Showalter baseball team.
Exactly. And it's nothing more than that, whether you like it or not. But Max and Verlander is the hill you're going to die on for this team.
Exactly.
But that brings me to my next point of getting things going. We got to talk about Starling Marte.
Yeah.
This series, he was dropped down to the 6th spot in the lineup for the entire 3-game set. So he's been batting 2nd all of last year, beginning of this year. Now he's batting 6th.
That's
I
a
did some
huge
digging.
dip.
Yes, and remember, I believe I mentioned it once or twice. He's a guy who likes consistency.
You told me.
So
Yeah.
if he's batting 2nd, I want to bat 2nd every day. If I'm playing right field, I'm playing right field every
You
day.
said like the quote he had where like, I'm here, like, I'll do whatever you want me to. Just, I want it to be consistent day in and day out. Tell me what I'm going to do, but I want to be that for the vast majority of the season.
Right. And look, I get it, but you had to move out of the second spot.
I
He was
agree.
absolutely brutal. So
Take some pressure
I'd
off
s-
him as well.
exactly.
Because, like, at what
So-
point, like, yeah, consistency's awesome and consistency helps. So if you're consistently garbage, for lack of a better term, consistently bad, it's like, get consistency elsewhere.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. So far this year, he's hitting 216, 289 on base, a 276 slugging.
Sorry to
That's
cut
a
you off,
five.
but there's just
You're
part of
good.
my hair that is just not going down.
Oh my god. All right.
Go
all
on,
right.
go on.
That's good for a 565 OPS, a 59 OPS plus.
Jeez.
Not good. Not good at all. So, again, I did some digging. His peripherals still are. I know I talked about it a few weeks ago. His underlying stats still leave some room for improvement. Not like a huge gap, but this could tell he is, little unlucky. That he's not doing as bad as we think. Stuff like that. So compared to last year, his average exit velocity and his hard hit percentage is actually better. But I think that might be because he got off to a really good start, so it might skew it a little bit. And then his batting average in balls in play is 261 compared to a career 342. So his hits just aren't falling. They're finding gloves. He's hitting it hard.
I have
right to
another
guys.
question. How much of that could have been Joey Gallo last year, where he was like 100%, like 90 percentile on everything, but
Right.
just was like the approach was the issue. Because yeah, you're doing that, but the way you're doing it is
Right.
not right.
And
Obviously,
that's
Gallo's
kinda
issue was the strikeouts, and I don't think
Right.
that's necessarily Marte's, or at least not to that extent. So I could be wrong with that, but do you think it could be something like that?
No, I do, because I think one of my issues with J.D. Davis was you look at his baseball savant, hit max exit velo, average exit velo, hard hit percentage, all really good. He just didn't make enough contact. When he makes contact, it was hard, but it's the lack of contact that makes his value less.
Because remember, it's average. It's not. It doesn't
Right.
include outs, or does not include plays that contact was not made.
Exactly. So I do think there's some little room for improvement, but there's two major concerns I have. Number one, sprint speed. 68th percentile last year. He's in the 35th percentile now. Huge drop off for a guy known for his speed.
Yeah.
And keep in mind, he had the double groin surgery over the offseason.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure how much that's playing into it. Obviously, it's something you need to consider. But then
Because that's
another
essentially
injury.
that's like your hips and your core, essentially.
Right. That's like everything you use to run, essentially.
Yeah.
So
The core is above your knees, below your chest. Just for anyone,
Right.
like, that's really what your core is, not just like your abs. So like
Right.
that's all your core. That's kind of important to also swing a
Right.
baseball bat.
Exactly. But the other thing is, he started off really good. First 10 games, he's hitting 303. He's a 378 on base, 485 slugging, 863 OPS. Here's where I'm concerned. I believe this is the third series of the year, first series back home against the Marlins. He had a really rough play trying to steal third, where he hurt his neck, and then he got taken out of the game. Since that neck injury, he's hitting 181 with 253 on base, a 193 slugging for 446 OPS.
Is that only one extra base hit?
I believe so. I think his last extra base hit was in April 12th or something I read. So it just singles if he's making contact. if he's making contact, if he's getting hits, it's all singles. So this raises the question: is he playing hurt?
Yeah.
I'm convinced he is. Because
Even
that's
if it's just
such
like
a
a
huge
little,
drop off.
even if it's not even like necessarily playing hurt, but playing bothered.
Right.
You know what I mean? Where it
Like-
may just be like stiff or like a little sore and just doesn't get better.
Just doesn't feel right.
Yeah.
Which can mess up your entire
Yeah,
mechanics.
that can literally your neck is kind of like pretty important.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Scherzer missed a start because of his neck.
Yeah, I definitely
You know what I
think that
mean?
that's one of those things. Like you see that a lot with guys where like with DJ last year, he like hurt his toe, but he's like, I'm fine, I'm fine, I'm fine, I'm fine, I'm fine. Then had to go on the IL, missed the entire year, missed the postseason, almost had surgery to miss the first couple of months of this year. So it's like, at what point, like, yeah, it's not that big of an issue now, but especially with your neck, you don't mess with that. You do
Right.
not mess
And-
with that.
He's an older guy
Yeah.
who you signed to a 4-year contract, and this is year 2.
Yeah, you don't.
Year 2.
Yeah.
You got 2 more years on this
I'm
contract.
just thinking of the guy. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you could legitimately mess yourself up for life if
Right.
you just never mess
the
with
neck-
necks. Never
Yeah, I was
mess
gonna
with
say
that.
neck is not something you want to mess with.
Yeah.
So I'm convinced he's playing hurt. But if that's the case, if he's playing hurt, I think it's pretty noticeable. So the team has to be noticing it. So are they just not gonna IL him? Are they trying to hide it? And B, if he's not hurt, then I don't know
What
how you
is he
can play him.
doing? Yeah.
What's going on? Yeah.
I-
So let's talk about.
Can I add a
C
C?
first.
Can I add a C to that?
Add a C?
And if you notice it, and you are by no means a reporter or have a job with any Major League Baseball team, then other teams are going to realize it as well.
Exactly. So they can attack him easier,
Exactly.
and that basically
They may
is a hole in your lineup.
there may even be some sort of like analytics on like if a guy has a hurt neck, these pitches make it harder because he can't twist a certain way or like do something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like they're
Something.
it's a significant advantage to know the other guy's hurt because you don't want to make him hurt more, but it's gamesmanship to take advantage.
Right. It's like in hockey. The hockey is extremely vague for its injuries because they don't want guys. Oh, you have a hurt calf. All right, I'm gonna go for the calf.
Yeah, football
what I
as
mean?
well.
Exactly.
Oh, you got like a hurt leg? I'm gonna like leg tackle you
Exactly.
or lead
So
with my helmet.
I'm not sure what's going on, but if he is hurt, he has to go on the IL.
I agree.
I was talking to my dad about this. Like, I feel like he goes on IL. Say that. McNeil is probably outfield full time. You have Guillorme to play second. You can have Escobar play second. You can call up Ronnie Mauricio.
That's what I was gonna go with.
Right. That's the popular answer.
I was thinking about this. What are the odds your long-term outfield is Beatty, Nimmo, McNeil?
I honestly, that's probably what they're going for.
Because I was thinking about that. Like
I don't know about Beatty, but definitely Nimmo McNeil.
Well, I was just saying because you have how many infield prospects?
Right.
Because
You
that
could
frees up
play
third.
Vientos
That
at
frees
third.
up. That's what I'm saying.
Maybe.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So
Just a thought I had.
no, definitely, and I don't think that's totally out of the question
Mm-hmm.
because they moved Mauricio to second for a reason. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So
And
there's
McNeil's kind of like
options.
DJ, where like I feel like he doesn't care where he plays.
No, and he's elite defensively wherever you play him.
Mm.
So that's not an issue. But do they not like the alternatives? You know, do they not want to call it Mauricio? Do they not want to play Escobar? I can understand them not wanting to play Guillorme every day. I completely get that. But it's to the point where Marte is just hurting this lineup so much. He looks awful.
Mm.
Like his approach at the plate looks bad. He's chasing pitches. He's not making contact. He's whiffing on fastballs. Like he just doesn't look good at all.
Yeah, no, and there was something like I was just looking into. Mauricio is on the 40 man.
Yes.
That's what
Yeah,
I
so
want. That's what like I wanted to see if maybe that was the reason why like he's on the 40 man.
Right.
And that's like some. But no, if he's already
No.
on the 40
Yeah.
man,
Vientos and Mauricio both on the 40 man. So
Mhm.
that's not an excuse they can use. But going on to B, if he's not hurt, what's going on? Like, this is a
Yeah.
major drop off from it. He was an all-star last year. This is a major, major drop off. And it's to the point where if he's not hurt, I don't know how you can play him.
I think there's an answer to both questions, and it's the same answer.
Mauricio.
No.
Oh, what?
Like for him.
Oh, for him?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just put him on the IL.
Yeah.
Because it's an issue, you put him on the IL, he fixes it, he heals, comes back, and it's him. If it's not, it's a mental block, give him 10 days off and be like, listen, for a couple of these days, do whatever you want. Literally, spend time with your family. Do it like, just relax. Go to a spa. Just go rock climbing go rock climbing at a rock climbing gym with your boy Justin.
Yeah.
No, but it's just like, give him, like, honestly,
mental reset.
a mental reset. And
Yeah, definitely.
either way, I think he should be put on the IL, even if it is a phantom IL stunt.
Right. And if you want to keep playing him for whatever reason, I understand, he's not going to get it going unless you play him. But he is not
Unless
helping
he's
this
hurt.
lineup at all. Right.
Then it's only going to get worse.
That's only going to get worse. So I didn't think I could get away with this episode without talking about him, because I know I talked about it a couple
You're a
weeks
big
ago.
Marte guy, right?
Yeah, I talked about it a couple of weeks ago. I wasn't too worried because of his peripherals, but now it's just getting like...
Peripherals are only peripherals. Like, at one point, you need to actually produce those peripherals.
Exactly. If it's not, averaging to the mean, then there's something else going on.
Regressing to the positive.
Right. And then this brings me to my next point, which you kind of helped bring into Mark Vientos and Ronnie Mauricio. Now, I think it's clear that I'm not exactly high on Mauricio and his on-base skills. And that might just be the player he is, But I think it's starting to look like Ronnie Mauricio has a clearer path to the majors than Mark Vientos.
Positional value. Positional value matters.
Right.
Where you play matters.
Right. So Mark Vientos, say you bring him up, don't think he's going to play third over Beatty. Definitely not playing first base over Alonso. And he's not going to be your everyday DH because you have Vogel back. So he's going to be your right-handed DH. That's it.
Yeah. Ronnie
Mauricio, you move McNeil to left field, take at-bats away from Mark Canha. Mauricio plays second base. Done.
Yeah.
So, and look, he's crushing the ball. He's not looking like he's slowing down anytime soon. I'm just concerned about his on-base skills. I mean, right now, it's like a healthy on-base percentage. Like, there's nothing to worry about with his stats right now, but his career,
it's under
he's
300,
been known. Right? No, I think his career is like just at 300.
And you say he's 21, right? 22?
I think he's 22, but still.
Okay, so he's been in the minors for how long?
Right.
Like,
he is a career 306 on base.
How long? How many years in the minors does he have?
I'm trying to think.
Well, it should say that on, like, if you're looking.
No, I know.
Okay.
He has 5 years under his belt.
Okay. Has it at least gotten better every year?
Let's see. We got 304, 307, 296, 296, and then right now it's at 372.
So that's just the player he is.
Right. So if you want to bring him up, I think that's kind of what you need to deal with. Unless what he's doing now is the player who he is. You know, maybe he turned a new leaf. He kind of just started seeing pitchers better, whatever you call it. If that's the case, then yeah, call him up now. I mean,
I agree. We talked about this when we talked about Dominguez. Was it this episode? What? It was either this. I think it was this episode, where he had that like insane 30% walk percentage, where it's like that is what you want to see. You want to see the
Yeah.
plate discipline and on base over the hitting, because if you have that on lock, then that will transfer. That's why
Right.
Juan Soto was like a god, or is a god, because his on base, especially at like such a young age, because his ability to just have that eye and
Right.
anything in the strike zone gone. So it's
Yeah.
like that is
Raw power is nice, like
Yeah.
Mauricio has. Like, you'll run into a home run every now and
plate
again.
discipline's the most important thing for young guys.
Exactly. So if that's the case, if that's the player who he is now, I I don't think you can hold him down any longer.
Mhm.
And I don't think you can hold down Vientos any longer. I just, unfortunately, he doesn't have a position.
Yeah.
I think Mark Vientos has figured out AAA.
Mhm.
He has nothing else to learn. It's like every other day, it's like, oh, he had a home run. Oh, he went 3
I
for
feel
4
like you
with
could make
2
roster
RBI.
gymnastics though.
How so?
Like just because like I'm thinking about like I know like you're not necessarily sold on Beatty in the outfield, but you don't have to play him in the outfield every day.
Right.
You can play him. You could play, let's say two out of 7 days. Vientos is playing at third. Okay. Then so Beatty, say he plays 6 days a week. So Beatty's gonna play 4 at third, 2 in left. Then you're gonna have it'd be left, right? Not right.
Yeah.
Okay,
It'd be
left.
left.
And then you're gonna have Vogelback, who's gonna be your primary DH against righties. So then you could also just put in Vientos against lefties. So I think that way you would think what he plays 4 out of 7 days,
Right.
and even if he's doing
And that's
so
not
well,
terrible.
if he's playing so well, then you're gonna probably put Beatty in the outfield more. You'll
Right.
do all you'll give him the
You'll make it
opportunity to
work.
play. Yes.
Yeah. My only issue with that is he never had a lot of time in left field.
Mm-hmm.
There's only like a handful of games. So I'm not really sure if that's something you want to test out in the majors. Having some
Beatty?
growth pains. For Beatty. Having some growth pains in the majors, that's probably something you want to work on in the minors. But if it comes to the point, I don't think it's a terrible idea.
You cut out. What'd you say? You don't think it's
I don't think it's a terrible idea
Okay.
if it comes down to it. But it's just something I'd rather see worked on in the minors.
Mm-hmm. It is a
But
dilemma
Beatty's here to stay.
because you guys need more offense, but your pitching is also struggling. So do you really want to give away free outs? So it's
Exactly.
it's a tough decision,
It is.
and I'm happy I'm not making it.
Exactly. It's a decision I'm not envying because, again, this offense isn't perfect, but the main problem is the pitching.
Yeah.
Like, Mark Vientos and Ronnie Mauricio are not going to help the pitching. You cannot outslug your opponent every single game. That's just not how it works. You need decent pitching.
Exactly.
And by decent, I mean 5 innings, 3 runs, 6 and 4. Not 3 and
5.
and 5. Yeah. You just need decent pitching. And that's, I think, where they need to figure it out. Because I don't think this team has found an identity yet.
Mm.
And I don't really see an approach at the plate. Like, by this time last year, you had the comeback against the Phillies in the 9th inning. You had the combined no-hitter. You had the late comeback against the Cardinals. You had so many, I feel like, identity-altering, making games that have already happened. This team hadn't had their moment yet, and I don't think they know who they are yet.
Mm-hmm.
So, with that being
I
said,
feel like that's a good note to end it on.
yeah. With that being said, let's look ahead to the National Series coming up this weekend. Another weird series that ends on a Monday.
And Mackenzie Gore is already picked up.
I don't understand. Yeah, I saw that. So,
I'm sorry. I just
spoiler. Game 1, Mackenzie Gore is pitching for the Nationals. TBD is pitching for the Mets. Game 2, Trevor Williams versus TBD. Game 3, Jake Irving versus TBD. Game 4, Patrick Corbin versus TBD. Now, you're probably asking,
you probably
why
know
is
3 of the
everybody
starters though, right?
Right. So the thing is, Carrasco might be back, so you plug him in a day. Scherzer might be okay to pitch, so you plug him in. But if I did the math right, Game 1 would be a Lucchesi start. Game 2 would be a Scherzer or a Peterson start, or a McGill start. Game 3 would be whoever doesn't pitch Game 2, and I believe Game 4 would be a Verlander start. But again, there's a lot going on with this series. Nothing's set in stone. You have a couple guys hopefully coming back, which kind of messes up things a little bit. So I'm not exactly sure what we're going to see. But you're missing Josiah Gray, who's been pitching really well and carved the Mets up last time. Mackenzie Gore, he had a really good start against them last time as well. You know, maybe Escobar gets a start there. I'm hoping I don't see... You know what? At this point, give Tommy Pham the start over Mark Canha in left field. But
That's hard for you to... That is hard for you to say. That's you giving up an over-under. That is you just giving it up.
Oh, my God.
You're giving it to me.
At this point, it might be. But regardless...
It's one of the books, baby.
I hope we see Escobar in that game. Trevor Williams pitched decent. He's okay. That's the game. The Mets won against the Nationals. Jake Irving, I believe, was just called up a week or two ago. So he's new. Haven't faced him before. And then Patrick Corbin. Who's Patrick Corbin? And he has still been really bad.
He is so weird because he'll have like a stretch of like 2 or 3 really good starts. And then just...
fall back down to earth.
Yeah.
So... I don't know what to expect anymore.
Damn, Mark Canha only has 2 hit by pitches. That's a shame.
Oh my God.
That is a shame.
It is a shame.
And he's playing pretty much every day, and he's not even close to on pace.
He's not. Honestly, just start leaning into it. Just get on base, bro.
No. Don't do that. Don't do that. Start learning to hit. I will hire the best hitting coach in the country to start teaching you how to hit. Just don't lean in. Just don't lean in.
Don't start leaning. But look, over this stretch that was supposedly easy, the Mets have won 3 games.
I thought it was 2.
Yeah, exactly. I think it probably was 2.
I think it was 2.
They got swept by the Tigers. You took one from the Rockies. Took one from the Reds. So yes, over 9 games against sub-500 teams, you are 2-7. In 2 games under 500 and currently in 4th place. I don't know what to say. Play better, turn it around.
Yeah.
You got anything else?
No.
No? All right. Well, with that being said, thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for watching. As always, follow us on Spotify, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Subscribe on YouTube so you don't miss an episode. And we'll see you guys in the next one.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.